Good evening, everyone. My name is Karthik. Today we are going to discuss about the optimization of heart rate response using treadmill parameters and metaheuristic algorithms. So today we shall check about the various factors and levels which are used to influence a person's heart rate. So as you can see, the heart is a key indicator of overall health and fitness, and monitoring regularly helps us to maintain the cardiovascular endurance and exertion levels. So in this experiment, I've determined three factors, which is time, speed, and inclination. These factors significantly influence the heart rate. So my objective of this study is to analyze the combined effect of treadmill speed and inclination angle, and also the duration of the per factor level. So, and to use the different optimization techniques which can determine the best combination of these factors for achieving a heart rate. So I have chosen the particle swarm optimization, and I'm going to obtain the data from there and use the results to plot in Minitab. So how the various parameters influence the heart rate. So as speed increases, the body requires more oxygen, which leads to an elevated heart rate. So sudden speed changes cause rapid heart rate fluctuations. So, and then when we discuss about the inclination, higher inclination levels increase the intensity of the workout, making the heart work even harder. It also simulates uphill running, engaging different muscle groups and raising cardiovascular demand. So, and then when we discuss about the exercise duration, short workouts may not fully elevate heart rate. Like if a person regularly does workouts and stuff, the person's heart rate is very healthy and it's able to withstand that level of intensity. But at the same time, long workouts, like even though a person is healthy, will lead to extended fatigue and cardiovascular strain. So this heart rate adapts over time, and it shows the different trends in short versus long-term duration exercises. So optimization for efficient heart rate control. So why does optimization help? This helps us to find the best combination of treadmill speed, inclination, and the time for achieving a target heart rate. So for athletes and people who are training for some sporting activities, they can use this study and it helps them to achieve the perfect set of parameters, and it's like helps them to achieve their desired heart rate. So as I said, I'm going to use the particle swarm optimization where I'm going to obtain the data from Minitab and use Python coding to analyze the best parameters. So my expected outcome is improved fitness and endurance, enhanced exercise efficiency with controlled heart rate variability. So regarding this, I've referred to several papers. These are some papers which I've referred from reputed journals like Elsevier and Springer. So the first topic is genetics and the heart rate response to exercise. So this studies the role of genetics in modulating the heart rate changes during exercise, focusing on hereditary factors affecting both immediate and long-term changes. And the paper discusses some genome studies enabled in heart rhythm regulation and cardiac development. And the next paper which I refer to is cardiorespiratory response to treadmill and bicycle exercise in runners. So this paper compares the runners to control individuals on treadmills and bicycles. Higher VO2 max of values were observed on treadmills during running versus walking, and then vice versa. And the next paper I referred from Springer is heart rate and perceptual response to exercise with different pedaling speeds in normal subjects and patients. So this paper talks about perceived exertion, pedaling rate, and workload in healthy individuals and patients. In healthy subjects, exertion decreases with increased pedaling values, whereas in patients, a U-shaped pattern is observed with peak exertion at moderate speeds. And then the next paper is different exercise training modularities, and similarly improve heart rate variability in sedentary middle-aged adults in fit aging randomized control trial. So this paper I have obtained it from Elsevier. So this paper investigates the effects of various exercise types on heart rate variability in sedentary middle-aged adults. The study aims to determine whether HRV changes and correlates with improvements in health-related outcomes such as body composition and cardiometabolic profile. The next paper is robust control of heart rate for cycle ergometer exercise. This was the key paper which helped me analyze my parameters and as to what levels I should choose. So this paper is from Taylor and Francis. It's a good journal for purposes like this. So this paper discusses about a linear time invariant controller for robust heart rate control during cycle ergometry. This was conducted across 73 experiments with 49 subjects. So this model ensured stability despite varying psychological conditions. The findings suggest psychological control applications. So, and these are some other papers, and the seventh paper actually discusses about the PSO, which is a particle swarm optimization, which I've adopted in this paper. So, in this paper, they've analyzed like how a heart rate responses during treadmill exercises. They've estimated that parameter estimation is a non-linear way in the form of heart rate models. It increases both accuracy and adaptability. The study finally concludes that PSO outperforms traditional M estimators in modeling HR dynamics. So, and then these are some other papers. And then lastly, I've also referred the Bruce treadmill test protocol. This is not actually a paper, but it's actually a study, US-based study. Here they estimated how much like each individual person uptakes the oxygen levels and like their different intensity workouts, how it varies per person. So this test helped measure an individual's capacity for sustained exercise and it's linked to overall cardiovascular fitness. So the next, this is the methodology as to how I performed the experiment. So I've chosen time, speed, and inclination on the heart rate. Each factor, which meaning the time, speed, inclination, is tested at three levels. So time I've taken as 3, 6, and 9 minutes, and speed as 4, 6, and 8 kilometers, and an inclination angle of 3%, 5%, and 7%. Here, a fractional factorial design will be used to generate 18 experimental runs, meaning instead of rather creating a full factorial design, I will select the L27 orthogonal array and select the equally divide the factors and generate an L18 Taguchi design. So based on this, during each run, the treadmill will be set to the specified parameters and heart rate will be recorded using an ECG machine or a pulse oximeter at the end of each session. So the experiments will be conducted in a controlled environment, meaning like I've taken different people and I've made sure like they've all had the same type of food before or after, and they've noted down their medications and everything. So this setup aims to evaluate the interactions between these factors and help optimize the treadmill settings for a desired heart rate response. So my study included people with the age of 20 and 25, like in between 20 to 25. So these are the factors and levels I've chosen, time, speed, and inclination as discussed, and I'll select these factors and I'll obtain the data from Minitab. Like I'll analyze the results using Python and then observe the interactions by generating interaction plots and contour plots. So this is the procedure. As I said, I'll create a Taguchi design, L18 reduction, which means from L27 I'm reducing to L18 to select meaningful experiments. So first we'll open Minitab and then go to Stat DOE, which means the design of experiments. And under Taguchi, we create a Taguchi design and we select an L18 array. And like means we'll delete some irrelevant rows and stuff and select only the important factors and divide them equally. So then we input the data in the column and we generate an L18 orthogonal array. So now the next step is to conduct the experiment and collecting the data. So we as I said in as I said in the previous slide, like the factors and levels, we'll choose the optimal time, speed, and inclination levels. So based on that, we gather a heart rate as a response to each of those combinations. Next, we input that set data in the column provided for time, speed, inclination. So each run should be ensured to match the L18 design matrix. So now we analyze the Taguchi design, meaning go again to stat, design of experiment, Taguchi, analyze the Taguchi design. And now here we select heart rate as a response variable. Next, performing regression analysis. As now we have analyzed the Taguchi design, we shall obtain the results as to what the software has determined. So now we go to stat regression, a fit regression model. After doing this, we'll obtain a regression equation and an R value, which detects us how much the set combinations, whether the model is a precise fit for the experimental details. Then we analyze the p-values and coefficients. P-value is something which if we get less than 0.05, then the factors are very much influencing the heart, like in the sense the response is heart rate. Then if it is above 0.05, like if it's in the range of 0.05 to 0.06, then like we can tell it marginally affects, like not that much interaction, but it marginally affects. So then we generate the interaction effects after generating the p-values, which is under stat, design of experiment, factorial, and then interaction plot. Here we observe how time, speed, and inclination angles interact with each other. Then we create a contour plot where we can observe like at what heart rate all these factors align with each other and at what rate they interact with each other. Here we select speed and inclination as x and y variables and the heart rate as the response. Then we run the response optimization in Minitab and we select heart rate as a desired response. Then we define the heart rate as a target, meaning we specify whether we want to maximize the heart rate or we want to minimize, or we ourselves can set a specific range. Then we obtain the optimal combination of time, speed, and inclination using the Python script which I have created. So next we shall observe the experimentation and the results obtained. So first I've obtained the general factorial regression. So based on this analysis of variance, we can see that the inclination percentage is 0.054, which means that it has like a particular effect, marginal effect on it. So this regression model analyzed the effect of individual factors and interactions on the heart rate. So significant factors influencing heart rate were found to be time, speed, and inclination, because although time and speed hold a much higher value of effect, since the p-value is completely zero, this indicates that the time and speed hold a much higher significance compared to inclination, but inclination still holds a marginal effect on the response variable, which is the heart rate. So next we can see the model summary, meaning the R squared value. So we have obtained 93.95%. So this suggests that it's a margin, like as I discussed, 0.054 is marginally significant as I said in this value. So, but for the suggested R square value, what this means is it suggests that it's a strong model indicating that the heart rate variations were well explained by time, speed, and inclination, meaning the factors I've chosen and the levels at which they were done were equally distributed with each other. And then it's a well perfect model to conduct our experiment. Then I've generated a linear model analysis. So this also suggests that R square value is 93.95%. So it's proper. Then this is the regression equation which I've obtained. So this is in this equation we can import this equation in Python script and we can generate another set of optimal combinations. But I've chosen another regression equation which comes under the regression analysis, which will be discussed further. Now we shall obtain the interaction plots between speed and inclination, because in the interaction plots it was shown that the inclination and the speed actually, time and inclination holds a significant increase in heart rate at higher levels of both. So here as you can see, time is 3, 6, 9, inclination is 5, 6, and 7. So, no, sorry, 3, 5, 7. So here we can see that they interact well with each other, but although we can see that speed and time are the ones which almost closely intersect with each other, but uh, as we see here, the inclination angle also holds a marginal significance over here. The effect of time also indicated a direct influence on the heart rate. So next we shall discuss about the regression analysis. So this is the regression equation I have obtained from this. So here we have obtained an R square value of 91.35%, which is slightly lesser than the 93.95% we've obtained from the general linear model. But still, this suggests that the model is very good. So what's the observation from this is that, like, for every 1 kilometer increase in the speed, the heart rate increases by approximately 4.7 beats per minute, and every 1% increase in the inclination increases the heart rate by 3.2 beats per minute. In this, the time also significantly affects the heart rate and should be included in predictive models, meaning that although inclination is marginally affecting, we should choose time and speed as the main factors which should be included in the predictive models always. So, and this is the regression equation I got, 85.3 plus 4.7, which is the speed, and then 3.2 is inclination, and then plus epsilon. So here this is the another analysis variance which I've done. Here the inclination angle is 0.1 through 132. So here in this regression analysis, this is clearly stating that inclination angle holds only like a slight significance, and the time and speed, the p-value is completely zero, which tells there's a strong influence in the heart rate. So now we shall select only interaction between heart, like the inclination, no, not sorry, inclination, and the time and speed. So, and this is the contour plot obtained from that analysis. So here we can see that there's a clear trend of increasing heart rate with rising speed, time, and inclination. So the highest heart rates, which is greater than 130 beats per minute, were observed at 8 kilometers per hour speed, 9 minutes time, and 7% inclination. The lower heart rates were observed at lower speed, time, and inclination values. So here we can see this color indicates it's less than 100. So this is the inclination plots, which holds like a marginal effect only. So here we have primarily discussed about speed versus time actually. So now we shall discuss how this heart rate was optimized using the PSO, the particle swarm optimization. So what is PSO? It's an AI-based algorithm that finds the best combination of factors by simulating a swarm-like behavior of particles, searching for the optimal solution. It helps in determining the best values for time, speed, and inclination to maximize the heart rate efficiently. So the objective function of PSO, meaning the equation we have obtained from the like regression analysis, that equation we have to input it in the Python code, which is a medium. It can also be done in MATLAB, but for experimental purposes, I've chosen Python, which is run in Jupyter, which is an app from Anaconda. So now we shall see the analysis. So this is the Python script. So as you can see over here, this is a regression equation, 85.3 plus 4.7 speed. So this is for maximization. I've done for maximizing the heart rate response. So after analyzing the code, we have obtained the optimal speed as 8 kilometers per hour, the optimal inclination as 7, and the optimal time as 9 minutes. The maximum heart rate which I obtained was 145.3. So these are the best settings for the heart rate. Time 9 minutes, speed is 8, and inclination is 7. So the maximum heart rate achieved was 145.3. Alternate settings for control heart rate is like we can ourselves select between 110 and 120 range, and then from that we can determine the time to be 6 minutes, speed as 6 kilometers, inclination as 5%. So here we've implemented PSO in Python. It was used to optimize the heart rate efficiently. The algorithm iteratively adjusted time, speed, and inclination to find the optimal combination for the highest heart rate. So to conclude this, we can tell that the time and speed significantly impacted heart rate, while the inclination has a marginal effect because the time and speed held a p-value of 0, and then inclination held 0.132 in general linear model and a value of 0.054 in regression analysis, which suggested that the p-value of 0.054 has a marginal effect, while the p-value of 0.132 as observed in the regression analysis did not hold that much levels. So, and then the higher speed and inclination levels, like first we discussed about the interaction between time and speed and how it affected the heart rate. But an experiment was also done between higher speed and inclination levels. But since there was not much rise in heart rate, but it still led to an exponential rise, an observable rise in heart rate. So the interaction between speed and inclination should be carefully considered in fitness training programs to regulate heart rate effectively. Only between inclination and time, the heart rate was not influenced, but the interaction between speed and inclination was much needed to be considered in fitness programs. So in by considering time, we should consider speed and time as a factor, inclination and speed as a factor, but not time and inclination. The time should also be factored into the heart rate individually for modeling improved accuracy. So this analysis provides us with valuable insights for optimizing cardiovascular workouts and understanding the psychological responses to varying various physical conditions. So I shall also put a picture of my L18 table and the responses which I've obtained. So by generating an L18 orthogonal array, we have generated a standard order. So it ranges from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 till 18. So since it is an order, it suggests that the factors and levels were already in, it's a perfect fit to the model. But we have proved that experimentally by obtaining the regression equation and inputting that in Python and implementing the PS optimization, meaning the particle sum optimization. So from there, we've determined various inclination and interaction levels. So to conclude, time and speed significantly impact heart rate as well as speed and inclination. But it should be noted the time and inclination was not a significant factor, uh, and hence these two factors were disregarded. The software automatically disregarded that factor, and it considered the interaction. Let's say we can take time as A, speed as B, and inclination as C. Then A B interaction was found out. Then B and D was B and D was B and sorry B and C was involved, but A and C was not possible, meaning time and inclination was not possible. That was removed. So, but each and every individual factor also was determined. A factor was determined, B was determined, C was determined, A B B C, but not A C. So I'll also include that picture of that L18 orthogonal array in my description table. So thank you for following this video. Um, Thank you.